you guys doing? Welcome to the 1% Club. We are glad you're here. Yes, I'm coming to you live from Puerto Rico. Last week, I was in Northern California, and then I made my way to Dallas, and then made my way to Cleveland, then I made my way to Atlanta, then I finally landed in Puerto Rico the night before last. So I've been on the move, doing meetings across America. The energy is awesome. The vibe out there is exciting. And if you can't feel it in your bones, you will after this, because I had the privilege of having a superstar on my podcast. It was a week or two ago, but I'm still vibrating from what he had to share about mindset, attitude, action, kind of the what it takes to recruit and build a revenue share organization. He leads a revenue share organization, I believe, called the Freedom Team. They have over 3,000 agents and brokers at EXP. He's a rock star. I go, you got to come on my 1% Club and share this. It is too good. He's a master trainer. He is phenomenal. I cannot wait to have him share with you. So give a warm, everybody wave and give a big thumbs up to Mr. Eric Golden from Florida out in the United States. I can't remember. Eric, welcome. Good to have you on. How you doing?
Thanks, buddy. I'm really looking forward to hearing about the guy you're talking about, because that's me. That's me.
It's you, baby. Hey, what city are you from out there in Florida?
I'm outside of Orlando. I'm originally from Miami.
Okay.
But I live outside of Orlando right now, and
in the suburbs of Orlando. I love it. Well, I've known Eric for years. He's a absolute rock star, and he's got some great stuff today. So, Eric, I mean it, you guys. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, take notes. Today is going to be powerful. So, Eric.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I'm going to give you the floor. I'm going to give it to you.
This is the proverbial floor. I've been speaking now for 40 plus years, and this is now the floor. The floor becomes a screen. Yes. Excited to be here. First of all, it's a heck of an honor, not only for me to be here with you, Brent, of course, with your background, and nobody takes your time without understanding the value of that time. But I'm in your 1% Club. We're going to talk about that, by the way. There will be a question towards the end of this. I'm going to ask all of you to be ready for this. I won't surprise you. I'm going to ask, why do you think you are here? What is it about you that thinks you're here? I'm going to ask that question, so be ready for it. Those of you that have ever seen me speak, and if you haven't, that's fine. This will be a first time. It's going to be an experience for both of us. I go very rapidly because I know you can hear and listen faster than you might be able to speak. So if I go too quickly, this will be on recording. I don't do this to fool you. I do this because sometimes I say things that I haven't even thought of yet. My tongue just continues to go. But I am going to tell you, when I was on your podcast just a week and a half ago, and I began to talk about the 7 thoughts to master your mindset, one of the things I want everybody to understand is I produce, and you sit there and say, how do you build a group here of 3,000 agents, lead a group here of 3,000 agents at EXP in about 6 years or so. I do it through a systematic approach. I do it through an old school approach. I've been teaching people how to recruit and train for decades. I've done it all over the world. I've spoken on all kinds of stages. I've spoken in all kinds of languages. But the thoughts I'm going to share with you today are very simple. They're all based on this concept of today, and I'm going to take you back about 66 years. So today I have a firm belief. I have a firm belief the reason people don't build RevShare is one of their mindset issues, and we're going to clear it up, is this. Most people fail at doing anything because they're working too hard, because they're just thinking too much. It isn't that hard to do the things we want to do. I can see most of your faces, thumbs up. Most of you agree with that? You're working too hard because you're thinking too much. I'm going to release that today. I am going to share with you some concepts and principles, and then I'm going to share with you a way to potentially partner up with me towards the end of this, and Brent will talk about that if you understand that I will prepare you for the simplest and most efficient way to put $250,000 in your pocket in the next 2 to 3 years in RevShare. No matter who you are, no matter how long you've been here, no matter what your background is in real estate, as long as you're comfortable having a basic conversation with a human, you're going to win with the program I'm going to share. You don't need technology, although there's a piece here and there. You don't necessarily to learn anything new except about a 3-sentence script that you're going to ask the prospect if they're open to look. So understand, the 2 things you'll need is to be able to understand how to push play on a Zoom and get them to Zoom by the invite. But I want you to know that you're thinking it can't be that easy. And the answer is it's not. It is that simple. It's not that easy. It's not that easy because you have a relationship right now with everything in your life, specifically with revenue share, with attracting agents. You have an actual relationship in your head with, I say agent attraction, and you immediately go to a place. And for some of you, it's a place you don't like very much. For some of you, it's a place you're afraid of. For some of you, it's gone too quick, not quick enough. You feel like you're inefficient. You don't know what to say. You don't want to look foolish. Have I started okay? Everybody good with that? Okay. Am I too quick, or are we okay with the speed? My mom's from New York. My dad's from Boston. I'm not trying to fool you. I just speak quickly. So I'm going to take you back for a moment. I'm going to take you back to a time when you were in high school and everything, and I mean everything, was driven by music. One of the things you're going to do by hanging out with me is it's going to be a full immersion. At times, I needed to learn languages, and the best way I would learn Spanish is to go to Spain, Madrid, Barcelona, and spend 4 weeks there. At the end of 4 weeks, I knew all the things I really needed to know. Does that make sense? So I'm going to give you a full sensory understanding of what we do here real quickly. So bear with me. Normally, I have a technology partner. Right now, that partner's sitting next to me. She's called my wife, and I love her, but she just wants to watch. And so I'm going to do this. By myself. So bear with me 1 second. I got to share screen. I've got to turn this on right here. I've got to optimize sound. Hold on. This is why I need a technology partner.
I'd like to tell you.
And that's the wrong one. Here we go. There we go. Let's get you in the right mood.
Define your dream, make it clear. Freedom's calling, can you hear? Step by step, build your team. Agent attraction, live your dream. Dream and believe, create the spark. But work the phone and leave your mark. You're looking for the one, yeah, they're looking for you. Find the right fit, make your dreams come true. Run money, 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 it's coming in. Eric Golden shows you how to win. Make your calls, let the numbers work for you. The right mindset's gonna pull you through.
Okay. Let me start with this. We good? Music's okay for everybody? If you listened to that for a minute or two, would that shift the way you think at that moment about anything? Would it change the way you feel? Because how you feel will come across in what you do. 66 years ago, Earl Nightingale did a wonderful talk. You can find it. I have a link. I'm not going to put it in the chat at the moment. He did a wonderful talk called The Strangest Secret. It's 35 minutes long. I see Clark. You know that, don't you, brother? And he talks about what you're putting in your mind and what you're fertilizing and what you're growing, what you're watering, what you think about, you bring about. And so I want you to understand that one of the things you'll do around me is you'll begin to listen to things and view things to get your not attitude right, but to be able to separate from the world we live in and the jobs that we have. I'm going to show you by the end of this how to invest about 1% of your time to put $250,000 in your pocket over the next 2 or 3 years in agent attraction. It won't interfere with transactions. It won't interfere with time you need to spend with your family or even hobbies. I'll show you how to spend just a 15-minute block, and it will literally revolutionize the way you not only think about agent attraction, but the results you're going to have. And the concept of what I share with you comes from a book that I wrote a number of years ago and a speech I've done hundreds and hundreds of times to groups as small as 1 or 2 or 50, like we have here, to groups as much as the place I met my wife in Rio de Janeiro, 80,000 crazy business people that wanted to get out of work and be free in Maracanã Stadium in Rio de Janeiro in 1996. So I want you to understand that everything I'm going to talk about today is going to come out of this specific concept. This book we call The DNA of Business. It's a model for success. Everything is driven by our dream and our belief. It creates a spark called urgency, and it pushes us into activity. If you won't make your calls, you may have a dream or belief problem. You may be missing that spark. If you're not getting big results, you may have an improvement problem. But I want you to know that this model will take not only your attraction business, but also your transaction business to a whole new level. Let me cover a little content that I want everybody to hear about. I want you to know that when I talk about mindset's the most important thing to each and every one of us. I'm going to say this. The first thing I'll talk about mindset is this. If you don't have a clear reason why you're doing something, and you're fearful that you don't have a good strategy to get it, you have doubt. 1% doubt and you're out. That's the first thing I want you to know. If you want to, on transactions, start doing Facebook advertising, but you're not sure you really know how to do it, you're out. If you want to be YouTubing and you're not sure that you know what to say or how to say it, you're out. If you don't have a big enough reason to learn those things, you're out. So 1% doubt and you're out. Number two, when it comes to agent attraction, I'm going to show you the biggest part of agent attraction. The problem we all have is we're always thinking that I'm looking for an agent that's open-minded. Everybody agree? Show of hands. And what we say is this, Annie Nash, if they're not open, they're not interested. Is that right? We've been taught that. Is that right, Annie? Sure. Yes, we've been taught that. I'm going to tell you that it's never about them. That's what we always say. It's about them, but it's never. We take the hurt personally. We take the hit personally, don't we, Annie? And so I want you to change the way you think about that. Instead of saying, if they're not open, they're not interested. How about this? Brent loved this when I said it. If they're not open, I'm not interested. So all of a sudden, I'm looking for the people who are open. In other words, I'm looking for the people who are looking for me. Are they out there? 1.5 million realtors. NAR says 1 out of 3 are going to move this year, whether they like it or not. Let me tell you why they're going to move. They're going to move because somebody calls them the day after they have a fight with their broker, the day after a deal goes south, the day after their team leader doesn't furnish enough leads, or a day after they look at their bank account and they realize they're just not cutting it yet. It's all about timing. So here's the point. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, but you also try too hard to say the right thing to the wrong person when it comes to agent attraction. We want to be really good on the phone. We want to be really sophisticated. We want to be a salesperson. We want to be able to overcome their objections. When you talk to the right person, there are no objections. You just have to save yourself for the next phone call, and nobody teaches you two things. They don't. Nobody teaches you what the right question is to see if they're interested and how to understand when they respond, what their answer means. We're going to talk about an answer that is negative, an answer that's neutral, and an answer that's positive. And I'm going to tell you, the minute it comes out, exactly what to do with it. And it's the simplest thing. Everything I teach is second grade level. Why? Because I don't want you to have an excuse that you can't learn it. In fact, you already know it. So again, dream and belief creates urgency. You're looking for the one that's looking for you. And by the way, if they're not open, I'm not interested. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. Okay? Here's a big one for everybody that wants to be credible. You're more concerned on how you come across and what they're thinking of you than whether they're open. I promise you, if they're open, it won't matter how you come across. And here's what they'll think. Thank God Jared Davis called me today. That's exactly what they'll think. That's what you might have thought. So I want you to understand that, here's the next one. If you work the numbers will always work because it won't matter how you come across. Because 1 out of 3 agents are going to move whether we like it or not. We just got to call them on the day after they get frustrated with their current situation. Think about it this way. Your consistency and consistently making calls, I'll talk about in a minute where you find the agents. I'll talk about what you would say. I'll talk about the presentation you would use, and I'll talk about how to answer their questions. But I want you to understand, when you're consistently making calls, looking for the agent that's looking for you, saving your energy for the ones that are open-minded, because if they're not open, you're not interested. If you're going down that path, I want you to understand that your consistency makes up for everything else. Because the more consistent you work, the luckier you're going to get. I'm going to teach you how to make a few phone calls a day, every day of the week. Now, you don't have to do it that way. You can do it the Brent Gove style, which works. He crunched them all on a Friday because that's the way he had to do it. And I respect him for doing it that way, but you won't probably do it that way. For you and me, we had to create habits. I want you to hear something for the first time. People don't build business. People build their habits, and their habits build their business. I'm not going to teach Julie Fish or Herb Ribb how to build an agent attraction. I'm not going to teach you exactly, Tamara, what you need to do and how it's going to work. I'm going to get across to you that if you just do, big important point, the things that don't take talent, you'll win. Just do the things that don't take talent. You're going to have an immersion every day of things to listen to that make you feel good. You're going to have direct relationship with me to make sure I can get you over any mini hurdles. I like to say the many hurdles, because you may not believe to the level I believe. You may not believe in you the way I can believe in you. I remember years ago, I was building a business. I had a young guy that worked with me for 4 years just to get to the first real levels of success. And he said to me, I don't know why I'm not a billionaire yet. And he showed me, he pulled out his driver's license when he was 18, and then he pulled out his driver's license when he was 22, and there was a significant difference. And he said to me, look how much I've changed. And I said, you're not, his name's Tommy. I said, Tommy, you're not done yet. See, James and David and Stacy may be better suited to do this than somebody else. But when you understand that you're not in a competition with anyone else, and that's another issue when it comes to agent attraction, I'm going to put you on a track that'll, no matter who you are, what you are, if you will commit to 15 minutes a day to just make 5 phone calls a day, you'll make $28,000 this year in agent attraction. Now, if you're better than that, and you get better results, you might make $47,000 this year in agent attraction. And there are people here within the group that join me in my Sponsor 5 program, and you'll make $250,000 in the next year, 18 months. Some of you, it'll take 2 to 3 years, but all of you will get across the finish line if you do the things that don't take talent, 15 minutes a day, by making 5 phone calls, asking people the exact invite I prepare for you. And you will fully feel comfortable that when they are not open, that you will not be interested. I will have Q&A in a minute, but I want to go back to something I think is really important. 65 years ago, in The Stranger's Secret, that video starts out with Albert Schweitzer, a big guy in America at that time, said, look, the problem with man, and I'll add women, not as much women, but definitely man, is men, he said this 66 years ago, men don't think. Now the problem is information is flipping everywhere. And so the truth is we think too much. The pendulum swings just like this. Michael, you like that, right? It swings one way, it swings the other. Jim, I want you to understand that right now we're in a situation where we got to get that pendulum stuck right back in the middle. I got to get you thinking, because again, what you think about, you bring about, thinking about your success long enough to ignore where you're going and just watch the road. Success works this way, people. It works this way in everything you do, and it always will. It always has, and it always will, but nobody's teaching it. Here's success. 3 things. Number 1, where do I want to be? Show of hands, $250,000 over the next 2 or 3 years in rev share money without it distracting from transactions. Show of hands. Is that where we want to be? Okay. Number 2, where am I now? Number 3, what is one step or 1% in the right direction? I'm going to teach you how to put your right foot out. And we're not playing the hokey pokey here. Michael Duga doesn't even know what the hokey pokey is. We're not going to put our foot out, Wendy, and pull it back. We're going to put our right foot out in a strong, confident manner. It may or may not return an agent to us. And then we're going to put our left foot out. And then our right, and then our left, and then our right, and then our left. And this will be, for those of you that do join me on this journey, this 12-week journey starting in March, this journey is going to take you to sponsoring your next 5 proper capping agents and having them all bring one friend with them and setting you up for $28,000 minimum this year in agent attraction. And some of you will do that before the 12 weeks are over. Some of you will take another 12 weeks to do it. It all depends on 3 things. Number 1, the mindset you have coming in. Number 2, how long it takes for you to commit to doing the 15 minutes of work every day and then get back to your life. And then number 3, checking in on a regular basis so I can improve you to the finish line. I've been doing this for 43 years. I've built some of the largest teams in the team building industry, did transition to EXP about 6.5 years ago because I realized this is by far the best opportunity for passive income that I've ever seen. You've been selected or self-selected to be part of the 1%er. So real quick, I'm going to ask this question as we close out, and I'll put it back to Brent. Brent, let me ask this question of you real quick. I had to find the screen to ask it. There we are. Everybody, real quick, chat box. Tell me why you think you're here, real quick. Not going to take long. Go, go, go. Why are you here? To learn. What makes you a 1%er? Go. To grow. Jeff, thank you. Michael, learn more and attract system. Kim, learn from others. Learn, grow, lock, grow, 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 grow. Okay, good deal. Grow. So let's talk about that. Brent, why are these the 1%ers? Brent?
My 1% club is designed to teach people how to do what only 1% of the EXP agents will ever do. And building a revenue share organization to a significant level is a 1% activity. And so my goal is to teach them how to do this. And that's what the 1% club's about.
Well, I appreciate the honor and that you're giving me and the trust you're giving me to potentially lead some of these people that make that choice. I'm going to say this. There's another way to think about the 1%er club. See, all I want you to be is extraordinary, but extraordinary is ordinary plus 1%.
Good.
1% extra. Here's the next thing I want you to think about. A little bit of something is better than a whole lot of everything. When you go into building this journey with me or without me, I'm going to tell you the biggest problem you're going to have once you start is it's freaking lonely out there. But if you're part of a community like you've never been part of before, we're going to put a 50-person community together, and you will feel just like brand new coach of the Chicago Bears just talked about. He said, look, I'm going to help everyone not only raise your standards, but make you believe you can hit the level. And we're going to do that as a group. Robert, you're going to help Julie. Julie's going to help Clark. Clark, you're going to help Wendy, like a way like you've never done it before. With cutesy little music and cutesy little conversations that'll penetrate behind all the garbage that's sitting right in the front of your brain. I'm going to teach you to do what everybody's trying to be, 1% better than yesterday. 1% better than yesterday. And as I push it back to you, Brent, we can go back and forth the last 5 minutes. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to leave you with this. I think it's really important for you to hear. Let me tell you what the 1% means for me and you today. This is what I believe. If you're really focused on if you're glued into my methods, my madness, I want you to know that in one physical day of 24 hours, there are 96 15-minute segments, or what I call blocks. There's 96 blocks in a day. If you dedicate 1%, one block, to agent attraction, you'll do exactly what Brent talked about. You buying into the Sponsor 5 methodology that I've begun to share with you today. And again, go to the website, sponsor5.com. It'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing there. But by investing this 15 minutes every day, and here's the smile, look at me, before lunch, investing 15 minutes before lunch. I don't care if you don't eat lunch till 3:30, but investing 15 minutes a day, 1% of your day. I mean, look, many of us are tithers. We give God 10% because we should be able to live off of 90. You get 95 blocks to do whatever. You can mess up those 95 blocks. Don't mess up this one. But if you'll work with me, you will believe you have a strategy. You'll believe you are the person right now that doesn't have to change because you can do this. And you will believe, and then you will walk in faith that what I've done for others before, I can do for you today, because I'm not going to ask anything you can't do, wouldn't do, and are already doing. But we're going to clean it up and hone it and sharpen your sword to do it. And you'll put $250,000, $250,000 in your pocket over the next 2 to 3 years, and then a six-figure or multiple six-figure residual check from that point forward. You can finally get off the hamster wheel.
I love it. I love it. Hey, is it sponsor than the numeral 5.com? Did I do that right? I put it in the chat.
Sponsor5.com. That's exactly
simple. So here's the deal, guys. The beginning's the hardest part. Getting the plane off the runway, it's full thrusters. It takes all that energy. But once it gets up to 40,000 foot cruising, they just pull back on the power and things just sip and feel all the way across the Atlantic, all the way to Rome or Paris. So, but the thrust is the beginning. The hardest part is getting the train out of the station. Once it's going 70, 80, 90 miles an hour down the tracks, it takes a lot less time. So this is the hardest part. So, the best thing you could do is take action. I joined this group, PSI, joined another group, LRZ, and this is like 15 years ago. I did Daniel Penley as special listing presentation. It was you go make your own video down in LA with the whole production team. Then you send them to your sellers. I did that. I've probably done 50 things. And some of it cost me $500. Some of it cost $5,000. Some of it cost, today I paid $18,000 to a publisher to help me publish a book. And I said, yes. Some people won't say yes. Say yes to yourself. It's the next 12 weeks. And what if it unsticks you? Now, some of you are killing it. You're slaying it. You're doing it. You're on fire. I would do this one too. It's like slapping a turbocharger on top of what you're doing. But some of you are in your head. And Tony Robbins says, if you're in your head, you're dead. You must take immediate action. You have to take immediate action. Now this, if you bring in one capper, it's $4,000 your first year. This is less than half of that. I think it's like $1,500 for the 12-week program, $500 a month for 12 weeks. And I wish Eric could just do all this for free. He is going to pour his heart and soul into this. It's amazing. He's put together an amazing program, very capable trainer, and he's going to get you going. And I would do it. I would absolutely do it. Say, I'm doing it. I just need to do it. And Zenith came around. And well, first of all, Sean Lovejoy last year, I paid him $5,000 a month. I did it. And then Platinum Partners through Tony Robbins, $85,000 for me, $55,000. Did it. And I did it when it was smaller numbers, but that's what helped me get to the bigger numbers. Then Zenith comes, $250,000 to get my foot in the door. I did it. I always say yes to me. I'm asking you to say yes to you. I don't get a penny. I don't get $1. It's not for me. It's for you. Some of you, if you're cranking, it'll help you put the pedal down and go faster. Some of you are stuck. You know you're stuck. You're in a dead. If you're in your head, you're dead. Stop it. It's madness. So this will get your feet moving. Put one foot in front of the other, and then boom, boom, boom. And pretty soon you get the momentum. You're like, okay, this is fun. It is no longer torturous. And I got the mo. When you get the mo, people will respond to you. You'll invite them to Cabo, like, I'll go. You'll invite them to the next training event, I'll go. So Eric has this great opportunity. So go to sponsor5.com, learn more about the program. I highly encourage you to start in March. You start what, March 1st, Eric?
March 5th. We're going to run it on Wednesdays. Again, everything is there. March 5th, we'll start. We are going to take a week off of having a physical kind of meeting during the Cabo week. But again, we've got it laid out. You can email me, by the way, at eric@sponsor5.com with the number 5. You can get me through Workplace Chat at Eric Golden if you want to do that. But everything, like I said, is pretty much right there. And by the way, when we're ready to cut off, I want to leave them with a little tune, Brent, when we're done. So let me know when you're done and we'll roll out.
We got like 30 seconds for that tune. I'm going to do the mastery sales with Brent Gove in about 9 minutes. But I want to say this. I do not get paid a dime for this. I want you to win. If you do this and you go, this was not a good use of my time or money, I personally will refund you $1,500. And I didn't get your $1,500. I'm not going to receive any money. And some of you aren't even in my group, but I want this maybe more for you than you want it for you. So there's a reverse for free. Either you are blown away and you move forward and you go in the direction of your worthwhile dreams or goals, or Brent sells you $1,500. I've never been in his course, but I know Eric. Haven't taken his course, but I know Eric. I have faith in Eric. I personally will give that to all of you. Actually took a picture of who is on here. So if you sign up for this and you go, it was like which I don't think will happen, but I will, no questions asked, I'll give you $1,500. My money to you. And so he is worth every bit of this. And I think it will really help you. So Eric, you got 30 seconds. Play your song, baby.
It's not my song, buddy. It's everybody's song. Here we go.
Your time is more important than your invite. So pick up the phone, go and get it right. 5 calls a day, don't hesitate. If you want it your way, then dominate. Your time is more important than your invite. So pick up the phone, go and get it right. 5 calls a day, don't hesitate. If you want it your way, then dominate. Let's attract the right agents, make it easier. Transform your mindset, make you stronger. Leverage the right tools, keep it simpler. Master the 4 key actions, go bigger. Let's attract the right agents, make it easier. Transform your mindset, make you stronger. Leverage the right tools, keep it simpler. Master the 4 key actions, go bigger. Yeah. DNA of business, learn the code. Dream, belief, activity mode. Urgency's the key, don't wait too long. Keep improving, stay real strong. Results gon' come when you set the pace. Make that move, go win the race. Well, money, it's coming in. Eric Golden shows you how to win. Make your calls, let the numbers work for you. The right mindset's gonna pull you through.
Love it. So good.
Cause you're thinking too much. Take that step, feel the magic touch. Freedom's
Break away, Brent. It's hard, I know.
Survive and go change your fate.
All right. I love it. So I wrote down some things. He said, do the things that don't take talent. I love that. And so here's the deal, man. In the beginning, you make your habits. In the end, your habits make you. He wrote down, you don't build the business, you make your habits. Your habits build the business. It's super simple. You got to do it. Bet on you. Go to that website, sign up, be a part of this for you, not for me, for you. And let's do something awesome this year. I can feel it in my bones. It's going to be awesome. Eric, thank you for being on. I'll be back on in 5 minutes doing Mastering Sales with Brent Gove. I have a cool presentation for you. We're going to do that for about 10 minutes. I'm going to hit it hard and don't miss it. And it's on listings today. Eric, thank you for being on today. Great job. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys. See you soon.